In my past life, I suffered domestic violence at the hands of my husband. I secretly fled with my daughter to get away from him. I warned my daughter repeatedly never to reveal our new address. She promised she wouldn't. But the moment my back was turned, she gave the location to her father. My husband found us and beat me to death in our rental apartment. My daughter just snuggled, acting like the victim. What did I do wrong? I just wanted a complete family. Fine. In this life, you and your good father can rot together forever. When I opened my eyes, I was back. I was standing in the middle of the living room, shoving clothes into a suitcase. My husband, Travis, was a psycho, a violent, abusive piece of trash who didn't just hit me. He threatened to kill both me and our daughter Lily if I ever tried to divorce him. In my last life, I waited until he went out drinking with his loser buddies. I grabbed Lily and we fled to another city. I changed my number, cut off all my friends and family and told Lily 1,000 times, "Do not contact your father." She nodded like a good little angel. But the second my back was turned, she was texting Travis, telling him she missed her daddy. Travis sweet-talked the address out of her. He drove all night, kicked down the door of our rental, and beat me until I stopped breathing. The media ate it up. Lily, with tears streaming down her face, told the reporters, "What did I do wrong? I just wanted a complete family. If Mom hadn't run away, Dad wouldn't have gotten so mad and hit her so hard." She testified in court that it was an accident. Travis got a light sentence for manslaughter, 5 years. When he got out, Lily was all grown up. They played the happy father-daughter duo, completely forgetting I ever existed. I gave birth to the knife that stabbed me in the back. But God has a twisted sense of humor. I was back. The hatred in my chest was so hot it made me shake. Just then the bedroom door creaked open. Lily walked in, her ponytail swinging. She looked at the half-packed suitcase and frowned, looking annoyed. "Mom, are we running away again?" She kicked the suitcase against the wall before I could answer. She rolled her eyes. "You are such a snowflake, Mom. Dad works hard all day, so he got mad and smacked you a couple of times. Big deal. You're being dramatic. Even if we run, he's just gonna find us and beat you again." Anyway, hearing those cold, heartless words, the exact same words she said in my past life, my heart stopped. Could it be my rage was faster than my brain? "You're the one who tells Travis where we are every time, aren't you?" Lily froze. She stepped back, startled by the look in my eyes. I had never looked at her like this before. She mumbled, "If I don't tell him while he's cooled off, I'll be homeless forever." So that was it. Every time I ran, whether to my parents' old house or a hotel, Travis found me. I always wondered how a simple bus driver had the skills of a private investigator. It was this little white-eyed wolf. This ungrateful brat was snitching on me the whole time. The new hate mixed with the old hate and I snapped. I raised my hand and slapped her across the face with everything I had. Smack. She didn't see it coming. She clutched her cheek, staring at me with pure venom. "You hit me." "Damn right I did." I slapped her again. Smack. Seeing the red handprint on her face cooled my anger just a little. "You heartless little bitch. Get out." She glared at me. She was only 8, but she had the same demonic look as Travis. I kicked her out of the room. If I looked at her for one more second, I might have killed her myself. Outside the door, the little brat started wailing and kicking the wood. "Just you wait. I'm gonna call Dad and tell him to come kill you." "Wait." "Oh, I'll wait. I want to see how long you last with your misogynistic, abusive father without me there to be his punching bag." I looked down at the suitcase. It was mostly filled with Lily's clothes, her toys, her snacks. I had spent years being a slave to this child, wearing rags while she dressed like a princess. Not anymore. I dumped her shit on the floor. I grabbed my ID, my phone and walked out the door. I had train tickets bought, but I knew Travis would check the rails. So I bought a plane ticket to a city on the other side of the country. Without that little anchor dragging me down, everything was easy. 2 hours later, I was in the air, leaving behind 30 years of hell. Unlike last time, I didn't throw away my old SIM card. I put it in a burner phone. Lily thinks her daddy is so great. Let's see how magical her life is when I'm not there to cook, clean and take the beatings. Landed and turned on the burner phone. It exploded with notifications. I opened WhatsApp. The first thing I saw was a photo of Lily, her face swollen and bruised. Then a voice message from Travis screaming, "Hannah, get your ass back here right now, or I'm gonna beat this little money waster to death." Travis was an equal opportunity abuser. He hit Lily too. The only reason she survived this long was because I always threw my body in front of her. I thought she would appreciate my sacrifice. Instead, she deluded herself into thinking, Daddy only hit Mommy because Mommy was bad. Karma came fast. In my last life, this photo would have broken me. Now I smiled. It felt good. I typed a reply. "She's your daughter. I trust you'll take great care of her. Good luck." Sent. Phone off. Abuse is an addiction. This happy family show was just getting started. I needed to rest up to enjoy the show. I didn't turn the burner phone on for a week. When I did, there were 500 missed calls. I scrolled through them until I saw a number I recognized, Becky. Becky was my cousin-in-law. She was also a battered wife. Her husband once threw her out of a second-story window. We used to bond over our misery in my last life. Before I fled, I texted Becky goodbye. She begged me to meet her for dinner. I refused because I was rushing to the train. Later, I found out that the second she got my text, she called Travis. They set a trap. If I had gone to that dinner, I would have died that day. I never understood why she wanted me dead. We were victims together. Now I get it. Crabs in a bucket. She was twisted. Seeing me suffer made her feel better about her own pathetic life. She couldn't stand to see me escape. Becky was just like Lily, an enabler, a traitor. My revenge plan had a spot reserved just for her. As if on cue, Becky called again. I smirked and answered. Hannah. Where the hell are you? Becky screamed. You abandoned your child. Do you know Travis is about to kill Lily? About to. So she's not dead yet. That's a shame. I channeled my inner Lily, mimicking her tone. Lily always said her dad works hard, so a few beatings are no big deal. She just needs to tough it out. Hannah, stop being crazy. Marriage is hard. Everyone fights. I need to come back. If Travis gets really mad, it's over. If I don't go back, what can he do to me? A woman can't wander outside forever. Becky lectured me. Look, men have tempers. He'll calm down when he gets older. You're almost to the finish line. Why give up now? I almost laughed. This logic was why she was still getting her ass kicked daily. You go ahead and enjoy that life, Becky. I'm not a masochist. Travis is looking everywhere for you. She shrieked. He said he's gonna dig up your parents' graves and threats. Travis was a coward. My brother didn't like me much, but he wouldn't let some bus driver desecrate our family graves. Tell him to go ahead. If he doesn't, he's a son of a bitch. I knew Becky was recording this. Actually, I said, my voice dripping with sarcasm. Tell him this. Since the internet is so big now, he should go online and cry about it. Tell everyone I abandoned him. Maybe he can become a TikTok influencer and get rich. I hung up. I knew exactly what would happen. I gave Travis the roadmap to his own destruction. The air in Seattle smelled like rain and pine. Nothing like the stale beer and copper-scented blood of my old life in Ohio. I found a job under a pseudonym at a small accounting firm. I was a ghost, a shadow moving through a world that didn't know I had died once already. I kept the burner phone in a drawer, wrapped in a silk scarf like a cursed relic. Once a week I'd charge it. The notifications were a descent into madness. Travis had taken my sarcastic advice. He'd started a TikTok account, Single Dad Seeking Justice. In the first few videos he looked haggard, his eyes red-rimmed. He sat on the edge of the bed we used to share. The bed where he once choked me until the blood vessels in my eyes popped. He held a framed photo of our wedding. My wife Hannah just disappeared, he sobbed to the camera. She left our daughter. Lily is heartbroken. She cries for her mommy every night. Please, if anyone sees her, tell her to come home. We forgive you, Hannah. The comments were a cesspool of prayers for this brave father. And how could a mother be so heartless? I scrolled to the next video. There was Lily. She was wearing a brand new dress, likely bought with the donations Travis was already soliciting. Her face was expertly made up to hide the faint yellowing of a bruise on her jaw. She looked directly into the lens, her lower lip trembling with a precision that would have made an Oscar winner jealous. Mommy, I know I was a bad girl, Lily whispered. I'll be better. I'll do all the chores. Just don't leave me alone with. Just come home. Daddy misses you. She almost slipped. She almost said alone with him. But she caught herself. She was still playing the game, still trying to lure the shield, me, back into the cage so she wouldn't have to take the hits. I laughed until I choked. Rot. I whispered to the empty room. Rot in the house you built. 2 months in, the tone changed. The donations from sympathetic strangers weren't enough to cover Travis's gambling debts and his thirst for top-shelf bourbon. Without me working 2 jobs to keep us afloat, the utilities were being cut off. Becky, my dear cousin-in-law, moved in to help with Lily. I knew Becky. She didn't have a maternal bone in her body. She moved in because her own husband had finally kicked her out after she tried to frame him for a crime he didn't commit. She thought Travis was a man's man. She thought she could tame the beast and live off his newfound internet fame. I turned on the phone one Tuesday evening to find a string of frantic texts from Becky. Becky, Hannah, you bitch. Pick up. Travis is losing it. He broke the TV today because Lily didn't cook the eggs right. He said it's your fault for not teaching her. Becky, he hit me, Hannah. He's never hit me before. You need to come back and handle your man. I typed back, my fingers steady. Me, I thought marriage was hard, Becky. I thought he'd calm down when he got older. You're almost to the finish line, remember? Enjoy the view. I blocked her number immediately after. I imagined the scene in that cramped, suffocating house. Travis, realization dawning on him that his punching bag was truly gone, turning his sights on the only two targets left. Lily the snitch, and Becky the enabler. A week later, Travis went live on TikTok. He was drunk. Really drunk. He was ranting about feminism and abandonment. In the background, I could hear Lily screaming. It wasn't a missing mommy scream. It was a scream of pure, unadulterated terror. Shut up. Travis roared, staggering off camera. The sound of a heavy slap echoed through the phone speakers. Then another. Then the sound of a body hitting a wall. The live stream cut out abruptly, likely banned by the platform's moderators, but the damage was done. The saintly single dad, image shattered in 30 seconds of raw, violent audio. The internet, which had once praised him, turned into a pack of wolves. I didn't stay silent anymore. It was time for the TikTok influencer plan to reach its final stage. I created an anonymous account. I didn't post my face. I posted photos from my previous life. Photos I'd saved to a cloud drive years ago. Photos of my bruised ribs, my black eyes, the police reports that were never filed because I was too scared. I titled the series, The Price of a Complete Family. I didn't ask for money. I just told the story. I told the story of a daughter who betrayed her mother for a complete family. I told the story of a cousin who helped a predator track his prey. The internet went wild. They connected the dots to Travis's viral videos. The police finally showed up at the rental apartment. Not because they cared about me, but because the public pressure was too great. Travis was arrested for child endangerment and assault on Becky. I watched the local news clip from a burner laptop in a library. Lily was being led away by Child Protective Services. She looked like a ghost, thin, bruised, her eyes darting around like a trapped animal's. She saw the camera. For a second, her old instincts kicked in. She tried to cry, to look like the victim. My mommy. She started, but the social worker pulled her away. There was no mommy to save her this time. Mommy was dead, murdered by the same child's words in another life. This version of mommy was a stranger. 6 months later, Travis was out on bail. The legal system in that town was a joke, just like in my first life. Becky had refused to testify, claiming she fell. Travis had used the last of his influence money to hire a bottom-tier lawyer, who argued that he was a distraught husband suffering from a mental breakdown due to abandonment. He got probation and a mandate for anger management. But he was broke. He was a pariah. He couldn't drive a bus anymore. No one would hire him. He blamed me. He still thought he could find me. He thought if he could just get me back, life would return to normal. One night, my burner phone buzzed. A new number. I know you're listening, Hannah. Travis's voice was a low, gravelly rasp. He sounded like he'd been swallowing glass. Lily told me about your secret email. The one you used for the bank. I'm coming for you. I don't care if it takes my last breath. I'm going to show you what happens to wives who run. I felt a chill, but it wasn't fear. It was anticipation. I'd been waiting for this. Travis, I said, speaking to him for the first time in nearly a year. I'm at 422 Mill Street. Apartment 4B. In Portland. I've been waiting for you. I'll see you soon, he hissed. He didn't realize I wasn't in Portland. I was back in our old town. I was sitting in a rented car across the street from the house where he'd been staying. A derelict shack owned by one of his loser buddies. I watched him walk out of the shack, his face twisted in a predatory grin. He got into his battered old truck and started the engine. He thought he was driving to Portland to kill me. He didn't notice the faint smell of gasoline coming from the back of his truck. He didn't notice the small, modified pressure cooker I'd tucked under the spare tire. A little something I'd learned to put together from the darker corners of the internet. I didn't want him to die in a prison cell. I didn't want him to get a light sentence again. I wanted him to burn. As his truck pulled out of the driveway, I dialed a number. Boom. The explosion wasn't like the movies. It was a dull, heavy thump followed by a bloom of orange fire that swallowed the cabin of the truck. The vehicle veered off the road and slammed into a concrete pylon. I sat in my car, watching the flames. I felt nothing. No joy, no sadness. Just a profound sense of done. A year passed. I was truly free. Travis was a charred memory. Becky had vanished into the woodwork of some other abusive relationship. And Lily? Lily was in a group home. Because of her trauma and her history of manipulative behavior, she was considered a difficult child. No foster family wanted her for long. I visited her once. I didn't go in. I stood by the fence of the playground. She was 9 now, but she looked 40. She was sitting on a swing, alone, staring at the dirt. Another girl walked by and accidentally bumped into her. Lily didn't cry. She didn't seek a teacher. She waited until the girl's back was turned. Then she reached out and shoved her, hard, into the metal pole of the swing set. When the teacher ran over, Lily immediately collapsed to her knees, clutching her own arm, tears streaming down her face. She hit me. Lily wailed, pointing at the dazed girl. I just wanted to be friends and she hit me. The teacher hugged Lily, whispering words of comfort. Lily looked over the teacher's shoulder. Her eyes met mine across the fence. She froze. The victim mask slipped for a fraction of a second, revealing the cold, calculating soul of the girl who had watched her father beat her mother to death in another life and called it an accident. I didn't wave. I didn't scold her. I just raised a hand and pointed a finger at her. The universal sign for I see you. Then I turned and walked away. In my past life, I thought I'd failed as a mother. I thought I hadn't loved her enough, or protected her enough. I realized now that some people aren't born to be loved. Some are born with the knife already in their hands. Lily wanted a complete family. She wanted a world where she could be the princess and I could be the floor. Now she had exactly what she deserved. A world where she was the only person she could trust, and the only person who would ever truly know her was the ghost of the mother she murdered. As I drove toward the coast, the sun finally broke through the clouds. I rolled down the window, letting the wind wash away the last of the Ohio soot. I wasn't a snowflake. I wasn't a victim. I was the one who survived. And that was the best revenge of all.